programs out there that a lot of the businesses do help support and do try to do things for it. As far as the maintenance alert, I don't think we really have much of a choice but to support that. I think by law you're guaranteed that. I think it's not unrealistic to say to the school board and the teachers union that we all need to really have a sit down and figure out where and what we can do with what we have.
Mr. Foley.
Thank you. As you probably know, I'm a substitute teacher in the system. I've taught for 3 years here in Queens County, 2 years in the Cameron County, so I'm somewhat familiar with the hardships that teachers go through. I do have some issues with the number of administrative positions in the schools and what they do for their money all day long. And these are big ticket dollars, these are big ticket people. I would look real hard at not increasing those personnel and possibly eliminating a few of them to help with teachers. Also, you may be aware that I made an announcement which was carried in the Bay Times and hopefully the Record Observer tomorrow that I'm looking for 25% of my big $19,000 a year salary here. So I'm saving the county $57,000 over my 4 years. I hope that keeps a teacher, helps keep a teacher, or helps keep a sheriff. Thank you.
Mr. Comm.
Okay, yeah, like Mr. Simmons said, we're going to fund it.
Thank you. Next question. We need some for District 1 and District 4, too.
I'm from Stevensville. And Mr. Olds, I'd like to direct a question to you. I directed this to your Democratic counterpart as well. I live in Stevensville, and up and down the road every single day, I see tons and tons of vacant storefronts. And yet, right on top of the library, there's a huge, big, multi-million-dollar condo type of office building being built. There's too much vacant storefront in this county, and turning around, it just doesn't make any sense to me why people are allowed to build when there's so much vacant space already. The Safeway building is a prime example. I understand that they own it. I work at the hospice up at the state treasurer's. I understand that, but something's got to be done with several of the different areas that are just vacant, sitting there doing nothing. Thank you.
Maybe we're tearing down. They are eyesores without a question, and I'm hearing two things tonight. I'm hearing people talk about the teachers who I can't say enough for, and I will never in any way try to hurt the teachers. However, we talked about, someone made a comment up here earlier about 4 seasons. Well, 4 seasons was a win-win for the teachers. It was a win-win for the county. We get things like that going again. We build a commercial base up again, and we can take care of those stores. I think they're eyesores too. I think that the barracks type of condos are going up there behind Itchy Spot up on Route 8 on the right hand side. Looks like barracks to me. Up far back at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio. I agree with it. Something has to be done with it, but we've got to look at the ends of the spectrum. We can't be narrow-minded anymore.
Thank you. Do we have a question for District 1?
Come on. You said local limits in there, and as you're probably aware, this current year's budget was balanced, not putting any money in sheriff's vehicles. When I was commissioner, we bought 5 a year. This year, 0, and 1 mile of road was to be paved. We got a 500-mile county road system. We did 100 miles a year, so everything was maintained 5 years. Last year, they did 25 miles. That's a 22-year program. This year, 0. Not going to do 1 mile. So, just interested in your thoughts on that. You think that was a reasonable thing for them to do to balance the budget and avoid the tax increase?
Well, I do think that was a reasonable thing to do. I mean, obviously, we all want to have the best roads. We want to have the best police force, and we do. We do have a great police force here in this county that should be commended. We want them to have the best equipment, but with the budget shortfall that we had to make some tough decisions on what to do. And I realize putting that off is going to cost us more in the long run, especially with the vehicle maintenance. These things are going to compound. And but at the time, every dollar counted. And in order not to have the property tax increase, I think it was a smart move. And hopefully we're going to be able to dive into the budget a little deeper and make the necessary reorganization and cuts. I had a chance to talk to the county administrator, Mr. Borders, the other day, and the budget's a complicated thing, and to actually, this might be a golden opportunity with this crisis to do a lot of reorganization of the departments and not just think about specific cuts. Reorganization could be a good thing to save us a lot of money down in the long run. So, maybe those things can help out. We can get the money to help with the road and help with the police cars and things like that. So that's it.
Thanks,
I'm going to respectfully disagree with Dave. I don't think the budget crisis should have been carried on the backs of our deputy sheriffs or sheriffs. We replace 5 cars a year in the past. Now we got to replace a whole fleet. But 5 cars a year is a lot cheaper than 25, 30 what they got now. As far as the roads go, we're not replacing the cars. We're going to make them ride up and down rough roads, bad roads, and everything else. I've been a volunteer firefighter for about 30 years now. Get them back of an ambulance. Get on a stretcher and go down one of these back roads that hadn't been taken care of with a back problem, a neck problem, something like that. It's a public health issue. Just as much as the sewer system or anything else, it's a public health issue. If our deputy goes across one of them highways and the car breaks down and he gets slammed by a tractor trailer, God forbid, who's going to get sued? The county. We need to look at other alternatives than public safety. That should never be a cut.
Next question.
And my question is this, first observation, while growth or excessive growth may have been the problem of years gone by, it's been a long time since that was really a problem. And I would submit that the biggest problem at the moment and the foreseeable future, jobs. There's a lot of talk tonight about vacant storefronts and so forth, and I'd be interested to hear views on why you think those storefronts are vacant, why jobs are scarce, and what you might do about it.
And who do you want to answer the question?
I'd open it up for any volunteers. Perhaps Dick would like to start. Sorry, Dick.
A lot of the storefronts are retail, small retail mom and pop shops that have gone out of business due to the economy. So that's tough. Until we get the economy back on track, we're going to have some vacant storefronts. As far as creating jobs, it's nice to have companies come here with 25, 30 jobs, but where we need to start is locally with our local contractors and people that have businesses currently here that might only have 1 or 2 employees and want to have 2 or 3. And we've got to work with them and give them opportunities to do that. I've talked to a few people. I talked to one guy down Route 8. He's by himself. He wants to do something else, but he can't afford in this economy to pay for something else going on. So we've got to get some opportunities for some businesses to come in and expand. And I think if we allow that, then the economy will start growing within. It's a national recession. It's just not Queen Anne's County and state or Maryland. But we have to be prepared and give opportunities and not put roadblocks up, make it harder for people to do things. I talked to somebody, they wanted to get a permit. They came in there and wanted a project that was going to cost $15,000. And time that done redesigning it, it was $45,000. Well, all the details, I can't say that like my mother's in a divorce, is his side or her side, somewhere in the middle is the truth. But we have to look at what cost the things are costing, is it reasonable? And that's something we have to look at and be more friendly to business.
Mr. Simmons.
I have a hard time saying how we're going to blow up the smaller storefronts that are there. It certainly is part of the national economy. I think that we need to realize that Queen Anne's County has way below the national average on unemployment. We are one of the lower ones in Maryland, which is again, very fortunate in that respect. When the rest of the country is that far off, I'm not sure that we're being realistic to say, hey, we need every storefront full and every job, everybody having jobs waiting on them there. It would be desirable to do that. I just, to be honest with you, quite sure what the formula is, and I am convinced that more and more government is not the answer. That less and encouraging people and getting out of their way will help more than the other single thing.
Next question. Yes, ma'am.
Budget being over 15% is school expenses. being over 50% of the budget, how do you plan to address the maintenance effort, the materials of instruction, and the cost of education going up?
Who do you understand?
I'd like Mr. Demar and Mr. Mansfield to answer that. Thank you.
I'm in full support of the maintenance of effort. We don't really have a choice on that. That's pretty much a state mandated thing. The actual Board of Education budget is really almost touchable by the commissioners. What we can hope for is that the school board does what they've been doing, and they have been doing a pretty good job of keeping their costs down. Our cost per pupil is pretty low across the state, and our results are much better than the state. We've got great schools. It would be easy to say, look, we can slash the education budget, but really, to be honest, you can't do it. And we're going to have to continue on with that maintenance of effort and keep our schools the best in the state.
I agree with a lot of what my opponent here is saying. I'd like to expand on it a little bit. I think there's some minor cuts that are going to be in the Board of Education budget. Higher up. Bottom line is, any cut we make in the Board of Education not be carried on the back of our teachers or our students. And it's just as we can't sacrifice great goals that we have going and the progress we've made over the years. But I'm talking about your higher ups that, quite frankly, maybe need to be cut. That's about all I can say.
Thank you. Next question.
Candidates here tonight have kind of listed their qualifications, what prepared them to run for county commission, and me, from my district, I'd like to know what are your qualifications that prepared you to feel that you can represent us as commissioner. Thank you.
As the rest of the gentlemen that are candidates for county commissioner, I probably have the least experience in the past. I am a father of 3. I do live here in Graysonville. I moved here 10 years ago, built a house. I have aspirations for my kids to be able to do the same thing, get good paying jobs on the side of the bridge, and be able to build a house and build a life of their own here. I currently serve as the president of the Greater Graysonville Civic Association. We have our meetings every third Wednesday at the Graysonville Community Center. We invite anybody to come and attend those meetings if you live in the Graysonville area, even if you don't live in the Graysonville area. I'm president of our community association, vice president of our community association, and treasurer as well. A local businessman here in Centerville, partners in an insurance agency here in Centerville. Spent 25 years in the hospitality hotel industry before I became an insurance 12 years ago. Managed people, had to make tough decisions. I believe that our budgetary spending priorities in the past need to be closely looked at. Being a little unknown, I can be the tough guy if necessary. And I don't have any problems lifting up every rock and every stone, making hard decisions and not be politically influenced or be captured by special interest groups. We're going to think about what's best for the county, best for the people in the county, and by all means listen to the people of the county. And that's why I'm running, because I'm willing to listen to the people in the county and listen to what they have to say. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Next question. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Barb Pivot, and as a past chairwoman for Business Queen Anne's and a vice chairwoman, and as a member of the county that sat on many boards, my concerns are not just with the vacant storefronts, because those are private enterprise, and you as commissioners will really have no effect on those other than through appointing strong advocates for economic development. My question is, what are you going to do to bring in jobs that are high-paying jobs, and what of the Wine Mills plan that was scuttled? And I would direct my question to David Dunmeyer, please.
As far as bringing jobs to the county, high-paying jobs, I think we need to maybe rethink our strategy on what types of industries we want to attract here. I think we have a unique place to